over this issue.
Okay.
The resolution is simple. These spores must be burned.
And do you see that eventually happening in the future? How far in the future is it going to be resolved?
It'll take at least 20 years.
Mm. And I take it that the land of Marin County will be transformed in that process?
Meaning?
Well, if you're going to burn it up, it's going to change Marin County.
Well, you're not going to burn it up all at once. That
Okay.
would be ridiculous. What you will have to do is do your control burns one at a time. You're not going to burn your trees down,
Okay.
or your shrubs or your bushes. You are going to burn the soil,
Okay.
the top layers of the soil. By doing that, the spores can be eradicated to a great degree. Now, the other solution, part of the solution here, is that you must not trample on this land. The parks and the pathways need to be closed down to mankind because there is enough animal nature already trampling on these lands. You add bicycles, men, women, children, and their pets, and then you have more trampling of the spores to other areas. So you see, you will have to have all of the activity around the open spaces, the mountains, the woods, and that sort of area will have to be shut off to man. Then, when you're doing the burning, you're keeping these areas closed to make sure that nobody gets in there and tramples any spores that you missed. You will have to burn several times, you see. But this is going to take a long time. And the humans will have to agree to stay out of the areas. Otherwise, it will not work.
Okay, thank you. Cass mentioned earlier to me that this spore is related to the oak disease.
It is indeed. It is essentially the same spore.
Okay. Can you describe what this spore might look like under a microscope?
Well, I have showed this to her. It is an oval-shaped spore. It has a very rigid, a very spiky, hairy looking outer edge to it that you would somewhat, as Cass compares it to a eye and an eyelash, a set of eyelashes around the eye. But it is more hairy than any set of eyelashes that man would normally have.
Can you tell us when someone is going to make the connection that the oak disease and the spore are the same thing that's hurting women?
I am going to take Cass to an environmentalist, a very important environmentalist. I have not decided just whom yet, but Cass will be telling this information to them.
Okay. And I take it that will set in to play
If they listen, they must listen.
Okay.
They do not always listen.
Okay.
But I am putting the information out there. If they listen, they will start to look.
Okay.
It's a matter of believing what I am saying.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, is Cass going to tell them where she got this information?
She can.
How do you think that's going to play with scientists?
How do you expect it to play?
I think, well,
Yes, your dilemma is mine. Maybe together we should find or could find someone that we both know that would be open to this.
mhm,
As at my present state, I haven't got a clue.
okay,
Now, I think I shall put this into your hands, if you don't mind.
sure.
And when you find the appropriate source, we will be more than happy to relay the information.
Well, coincidentally, I have a few contacts in that area.
Well, that's a good thing.
Hmm. Well, thanks for all that information. I wondered if I could ask a few questions about how you perceive our reality. Can you see us here in this room? Cass and I are in my office.
Can I see you?
Yes.
Well, I know you're there. Sure, I can see you.
So you
I
can see
mean,
us,
I'm not looking at you right now, but
but,
I know you're there.
okay. How do you perceive us?
Meaning,
Well, if you're not looking at us right now, how do you sense what's going on here? Or do you sense what's
oh,
going
I do know what's going on here. I don't have to have a visual to know what's going on.
on? Okay.
You should know that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with your work. Um, and sort of along that same line, is Cass a part of your entity? What is your connection to Cass?
I've known Cass before.
Can you elaborate?
I've been in other lives with Cass.
Um, can you sort of relate specifically which lives?
Oh gosh, there are plenty. Where do you want me to start?
Well, how about the last couple of lives that you were with Cass?
Yes, Cass and I were Indians together. That
That,
wasn't very pleasant, you know.
that's in East
I
India?
haven't had a body in a very, very long time. But I was in a life with Cass where we were Indians. It's a brief life, too.
Uh, can you say more about that?
Yes, we lived in India.
Okay, India. And what did your physical body look like?
I was a man.
You were a man.
Hmm.
And did you have a wife? Do you have a family?
Oh, certainly.
You had a wife and children.
I believe I did.
Do you know maybe remember the wife's name?
Shankranta?
Shankranta?
Shankantra.
Shankranta. And what was your name?
Well, my name was Hedrub.
Hedrub. How many children did you have?
Several.
Several?
9 to be exact.
9 children. And
Gosh, I haven't gone back to. I'm getting a regression from a regressionist.
Okay. And what class were you in? Were you in upper class, lower class? In that
No, I was very poor.
very poor. Okay. It was a short life. Why was it a short life?
Disease.
Okay. You died of a disease?
Yes.
Which
I died
disease?
of gangrene.
Gangrene. Okay. So you got wounded or something, and gangrene set in?
I lost my leg, gangrene set in.
Okay. Did you die before your wife?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so she was left with behind with the children, I presume,
And the family, of course.
and the family. Okay. So you experienced this life in India with Cass. Was Hadrib, was that the name?
Mm-hmm.
Aware of you sharing this life with him?
Say that again.
Well,